To KAUS listeners on AM 1480 KUS, the voice of Moore County. We especially would like to welcome our guests from Albert Lee and Randy Kerr, Director of the Chamber of Commerce there. We appreciate all of you coming over here for today's forum. I'm John Wright from KAUS Radio. It is my pleasure to be here today. The purpose is to discuss the current legislative session and the issues that are important to area businesses in our communities. We know that everyone's on a tight schedule, so our plan is to conclude their question session here in about an hour. Each panelist will be given 4 minutes for opening and closing remarks. We'll have a signal here with a yellow card when you have about 30 seconds remaining. Questions from the audience will be asked through myself, and we'll be asking them of each member of the panel, so you'll have an opportunity to answer each question. Notepads, again, are available on each table. Please write down your question and send them up to the front here through committee volunteers. We'll attempt to answer as many questions as possible on as many topics as possible. In the interest of time, we ask that responses be limited to 2 minutes or less. We will allow respondents from all legislators to answer each question. Priority will be given to questions related to the following policy areas: the state budget and taxes, education reform, baseload energy, state bonding, health insurance exchange, and the Vikings Stadium. So we would like to welcome our special guests here today. Off to my left, Senator Mike Parry, Republican from Waseca, serving his second term in the Senate, representing District 26, which includes portions of Rice, Steele, and Waseca counties. He is a native of Albert Lee. Mr. Parry chairs the State Government Innovation and Veterans Committees and also serves on both Finance and Transportation Committees. Welcome, Senator. Sitting next to him, Senator Dan Sparks, DFL from Austin, representing District 27, which includes all of Moore and Freeborn counties and 4 townships in Fillmore County. He was first elected to the Senate in 2003 and is the ranking minority member of the Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications Committee, and also sits on both Agriculture and Rural Economies and Commerce and Consumer Protection Committees. Welcome, Senator. Representative Rich Murray, Republican from Albert Lee, is serving his first term in the House, representing all residents of Freeborn County and parts of Moore County. He is the Vice Chair of the Government Operations and Elections Committee and also serves on the Jobs and Economic Development, Finance, State Government Finance, and Transportation, Policy, and Finance Committees. Welcome. And on the far right, Representative Jean Poppy, DFL from Austin, currently serving in her 4th term, representing District 27B, which includes most of Moore County and a portion of Fillmore County. At the Capitol, she serves on the Agriculture and Rural Development Policy and Finance Committee, the Higher Education Policy and Finance Committee, and the Redistricting Committee. And welcome to you. So let's begin opening remarks. As we said, we'll allow 4 minutes for opening remarks, and Senator Parry, we'll begin with you.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome to everybody that's here, and those that are listening to KAUS AM. Being the old radio guy, it's nice to be back on the radio again. Yeah, I'm going to keep it short because I'm more interested in hearing questions from you folks. All I can say is that when this majority took over in November of 2010, we had a $6.2 billion deficit. Unemployment was up there at 7.1%. April of this year, we're looking at $1.2 billion surplus to fill back in the reserve account, pay back school shifts, fill in the cash flow account. Unemployment is down to 5.1%. It's working, folks. It's working when you have a plan and you make the tough decisions. That's what we've done, and that's what we hope to continue to do to keep our state moving in the right direction. So thank you.
Very good. Senator Sparks.
Well, thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules. I want to thank Sandy and the Austin Area Chamber of Commerce for putting this event together. They do it nearly every year, and I know how difficult it is to get a senator to a meeting, let alone 2 senators and 2 representatives. And I know we've had to juggle that a little bit, but Sandy and to the Austin Chamber, thank you for putting this together, as well as being joined by the Albert Lee and Freeborn County Chamber of Commerce too. That's very important. And thank you to KAUS for allowing the people that can't be here today to at least listen in on the radio. I just want to again thank everyone for taking the time. Like I said, I have a busy schedule. We're on Easter break. If my answers aren't quite as clear as they normally are, it's because I've spent Easter break getting acquainted with my 6-week-old son, Nicholas. And I have a newfound respect for my wife, Andrea, who just returned to work this week. And so I'm lacking a little sleep, but nonetheless, glad to be here. I know that many of you came up to the Capitol to see us for Business Day at the Capitol. You always are very active and involved in what happens here locally, and so I think that's very important, as I said, that we hear your concerns. We'll try to answer, give you an update of what's going on in St. Paul, and obviously want to hear from you folks here today. So thanks again for putting this together.
Representative Murray.
Well, greetings and thanks everybody for coming out today. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces and good to meet some new people. Look forward to visiting with you today, answering some of your questions. I enjoy our relationship between Freeborn and Mower County. I've had a lot of nice meetings over here with the county board in Mower County, Freeborn County Board. Have met some new constituents, hopefully, if I make election next time again in the Blooming Prairie area, that I'll be able to work with going forward. I am a freshman legislator, as they said. I have an undergraduate degree in finance and accounting and a master's degree in finance. And those things have come in very useful in my business career and also in trying to balance the books at the state capitol. As Senator Parry said, we stepped into a $6 billion deficit when we started here a little over a year ago. And through work on cutting the growth of government, cutting the spending in government, and in improving the economy within this state, a lowering of unemployment, we've been able to chip away at that and now turn that into a surplus. And as he said, we have filled those coffers back up, and now we're looking at trying to pay back some of the school shift. Hopefully we can get some more of that done. I think that's very important. I'm having a lot of fun doing this job, and most of you that have been out and have met with me, or if I've been to your places, you can kind of see I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's amazing all the things that happen in state government that you just don't realize until you get up there and you can start getting involved in it. And so when the chamber comes up, or when the realtors come up, or when the daycare people come up to visit me, I enjoy learning a little bit about what they're doing in their business, what they're doing in their industry, and how can the state of Minnesota help them succeed. When Steve Barron has a question for me in higher ed, how can we help Riverland become a better place to educate people? How can we help this state succeed? And so what I'm working at is trying to help all Minnesotans. I'm especially working hard for greater Minnesota. And a lot of the issues that we've worked with on the tax bill have been things to help greater Minnesota. The Angel tax credit, we're trying to make that fair for greater Minnesota because most of that benefit is going to the metropolitan area. So that's one of the things that I've been championing. We've been working on small business issues because we know that if this economy is going to improve, it's going to improve because we create jobs. And the idea of bringing in an employer with 500 employees or something like that probably isn't going to happen. But we can take the small businesses that we have across southern Minnesota here, and maybe we can help them expand by 5 or 10. You know, next week we have an expansion going on, and Mrs. Jerry is over in Albert Lee. This is the way that we grow business. This is the way we fix things. One of the best ideas in the bonding bill, and Representative Poppy has given you a pay raise there, we've talked about is the project here at the Horn Mill Institute. Why is that a good bonding project? Because it's creating jobs. And that's what we need to do in Minnesota, is create jobs, create good jobs that people can support their families with. And, you know, so that's a good project. I've been happy to work with the group out there. And, you know, we'll continue to fight and work hard on that. We'll work hard. The Shell Rock Watershed over in Albert Lee has a great project that we think is very important to the community. And so we're going to continue to work hard on that. So we've got a lot on our plate. A lot needs to happen over the next 2 weeks. But we're going to work real hard on all those issues. We need to get some things settled up on the tax bill, the bonding bill. And I understand the Vikings Stadium bill is coming to government ops, which I vice chair, as you mentioned, on Tuesday. So we'll be discussing that. I'd like to hear everyone's opinion before we leave today as to whether that should succeed or not, and how do we pay for it. I think the Vikings are a very important asset to the state of Minnesota, but how do we pay for it? That's got to be the important part, because as we're cutting services or as we're cutting money in other areas, we have to think about what are we doing with this money? What are we bonding for? What are we doing? So, you know, very important issue. The Vikings, talk to me about it. Give me a call. Business issues, any of that. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, and it's great to be here today.
Thank you. Representative Poppy.
Thank you, John. Thank you to Sandy and the Austin Area Chamber, and thanks to Randy and the Freeborn County Chamber. Thanks to the people from other places that arrived today and are here to ask questions. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Okay, let's talk about this session. This session is, this is the bonding year session. This is the capital infrastructure session. One of our hallmark pieces of legislation that we're supposed to be doing is working on a bonding bill. We haven't yet seen a bonding bill.